What's going on YouTube? My name is FG3000, I'm back in the place to be, and welcome to Tales of Crestoria. This is a brand new hero collector that's currently in open beta in Canada and Indonesia. However, this is not a soft launch and the progress will be wiped at the end of beta, so let's go ahead and take this brief opportunity, take a look at the game, see how it's shaping up thus far, and of course I will revisit this title once it's officially in global launch. So starting this off with the characters that you can collect, here's my roster of characters thus far. So I do want to show you their 2D and their 3D combat models. Also, I do want to kind of make note of the tutorial in this game took me about 5 minutes to complete, and that was with me like reading stuff and like going through the skill systems. You can definitely go through it faster, and at the very end of that tutorial you do get a guaranteed SSR ticket, so I do like it when games start off like that. So 3D combat models, as you guys can see, anime aesthetic. So to kind of make this anime aesthetic, they went for like a lower polygon count on the individual characters. I'm still going to give it my stamp of approval. I still think the characters do look good. However, I still think that they could have upped the polygon count a little bit, make the characters look a little bit more detailed, and still maintain that anime aesthetic. I just think that everything just looks so smooth and clean, and normally that sounds like it should be a compliment, but everything just looks like it lacks a little bit of detail. I would have loved to see a higher polygon count. I still think they could have retained that anime aesthetic with it. Maybe this was a design decision to make sure it ran on as many devices as possible. I totally get it. The game doesn't look bad. It's still getting my stamp of approval, but I just think that everything just looks super smooth and clean. But there you go. We'll kind of go through a few of them here. Here is the character that I chose for my guaranteed SSR ticket. Love the 2D art. I think 3D combat model, she looks the best out of the characters that I've collected thus far. I definitely like this character. The graphics that you see on the screen right now is the game on its highest graphic settings. I'll go through one more SSR character, just kind of give you a feel for it. She's probably one of the better ones here, as far as I'm concerned, obviously. There you go. And here is the main character. He's gonna look like a total goof because I was testing stuff. But obviously, since he's an SR character, his 2D art is a little bit lower tier here. And his 3D art, absolutely ridiculous. And I'll show you what all that looks like a little bit later in the game. So those are the characters. Still gonna get my stamp of approval. I just would have loved to see a slightly higher polygon count, but we gonna live. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into combat. I'm gonna try to do it from this menu screen because this game is a very crashy when it comes to displaying the 3D combat models, unfortunately. But we'll talk about that in a second. When it comes to the main modes of gameplay here, you have a story mode, you have limited quests, which I'm gonna assume are gonna be, you know, side stories and things of that nature. And then of course you have your daily resource grind. So you have your experience quests, which allow you to get EXP potions and then materials that can kind of level up Memorias. There you go, your Memoria stones. And of course we'll talk about what Memoria stones are a little bit later in the video. So that is that. And then of course you have a gold quest to kind of grind up gold. So far I do not have this little Phantom Tower unlocked just yet, but I have an assumption on what that is, but more to come. So far I've gone through 10 chapters, and as you guys can see, there are quite a few missions within each chapter. So I have seen a good degree of some of the story here, as well as a lot of the different biomes. When you start off, the game is going to ask you to bring a friendship unit. So you can kind of see here, you have 4 main party members on the battlefield at once. So 3 that are mine, one that's a friendship unit. You can always opt to not do that, but you're not going to build up friendship currency for friendship summons. So you're kind of forced to do it in a way. I kind of prefer to only use my own characters. I hate when the game's kind of low key, middle key, high key force you to use a friendship unit, but I digress. And then of course you have 2 subunits here, and everyone has a Memoria equipped as well. And once again, I'll show you what Memorias are a little bit later in the video. So here we are in a combat. I'm gonna hope that autoplay is turned off here. We're gonna keep the speed down for right now. Now this is going to be your traditional turn-based RPG. All of your characters are going to have attacks, debuffs, heals, and things of that nature. The game does have an elemental weakness system here as well. Pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Graphic-wise and skill ability-wise, there's a lot of great diversity here. Good sound effects, voiceovers, pyrotechnics. The game looks really good. The ultimates are screen-filling ultimates. Like if you're like me and you like to have that power fantasy with a lot of really strong characters doing really strong abilities, you're gonna like this game. You can also kind of select your turn whenever you want to. So if you want to kind of do something a little bit more strategic, which there is room for that in this game. 2 things that set this game apart when it comes to other turn-based RPGs is that it has a break meter, which is not really gonna come into play when it comes to just beating up trash mobs. But when you fight a boss, they're gonna have a break bar. And if you can break their bar, you put them in this state where they take more damage and more critical. So that's one piece. And then the second piece of combat is this kind of this combo meter here that you see right over here that builds up. So the more hits that you do, the more this combo meter fills up. Here's one of the ultimates here real quick. Very nice. Love to see it. And as you guys can see, my hit meter is building up. So as I build up that hit meter, I start doing more and more and more damage. So a strategy that you can kind of do here is kind of lead off with some of your weaker attacks, build up your hit meter, and then end it off with like a really big ultimate while your boost gauge and your damage is increased. So that's kind of how combat works. Like I said, at its core, it is a turn-based JRPG combat system, but the break bar and the hit meter are two things that kind of set it apart. There are certain aspects in the story where you kind of have to use certain characters in combat, but we'll go ahead and do this. I'll throw it on auto so we can talk a little bit more about the game itself. Now, as far as the story and the presentation, it's going to be kind of old school Hero Collector, and I say old school Hero Collector now because I feel like Seven Deadly Sins is the new gold standard when it comes to presenting story, you know, actually having the 3D character models interact in the story instead of just two PNGs monologuing back and forth to each other. I will say there is a good variety of those PNGs. So your main character is going to show emotion. He's going to be surprised, sad, angry, all that good stuff. But I feel like the gold standard now for presenting story now in these games is doing it inside the 3D combat model engine. Hopefully we see that going forward. But I'm not going to knock the game on it. This game was in development for a while, so well, all right, we good. Love the 3D backgrounds as well. Since I've been playing this game, there's been a lot of variety. There have been plains, forests, lava stages, indoor places like castles and whatnot. So a lot of great variety here. As soon as you start the game, you do unlock ×2 speed. So we'll go ahead and show that off. Very good. You're not going to be disappointed with the visual splendor of this game. I don't think. The game definitely looks good when it comes to that. So that is combat. That's kind of what you have to look forward to there. Now, I don't know how grindy this game will necessarily be. And the reason why I bring that up is because, like, let's say I want to go back to a stage that I've already 3-starred. There are no, like, quality of life update or quality of life enhancements to like auto repeat stages and things like of that nature. But at the same time, I don't know how necessary that is in this game. As you guys can see, there's not a lot of stamina here. Right now I only have 25 stamina at my max. Look at this. So every single stage right here, that'll bring me down to what, 19. So I'm just not sure how grindy the game is. And it doesn't look like it's going to be that grindy because there's not that much stamina. So more to come on that one. I'm not sure if this is going to be one of those games where it's more of like a side game or if this could actually be a main game. I think I'm going to have to unlock a few more gameplay modes. We're going to have to kind of see what this tower mode is all about. And we're going to have to kind of see what these limited quests are all about when it comes to where do you get the resources, where do you grind them up. It might be just raiding and multiplayer, but once again, we'll have to see. Also, the game is very crashy, and I'm actually going to keep this in because I do want to kind of make a point on this. So the game is in beta, right? That's totally fine if the game crashes in beta. That's what beta is for. But the game also only works on a very limited scope of emulators right now on very particular versions as well. So I'm a little worried. I don't know if the game is in beta, it's a little buggy, or Bandai is actively trying to block emulators. I just don't know. But like I said, LD Player doesn't work, Nox doesn't work, Minu doesn't work. BlueStacks works on one particular version in 64-bit mode, but it still crashes a lot. So I'm hoping it's just a beta thing and it's not Bandai actively trying to block emulators. It happens a lot more in the lobby screen, so I'm gonna kind of blow through this. So you have raiding and you also have arena as well. More to come on that. I'll try to unlock that before the beta is over, but that is pretty much the gameplay there, right? You got the story, you got the daily resource grind, the gold resource grind, what I assume to be a tower, a side story, raid, arena, and then of course guild. So I'll show you what the guild looks like. We can jump in there really quick. It doesn't crash in the guild too often. So I went ahead and made a guild as fast as I could. You don't have to use Cash App currency or anything like that. You can actually just use gold. Hey, someone already joined my guild. Who are you? But so far, I don't really see anything in the guild. There's aid, guild point summons, guild, what is that? Guild menu, guild support, guild donate, item donate. No actual gameplay or anything like that thus far. It looks like you just kind of get together with some of your friends and help each other out by just kind of donating things of that nature. So that's pretty much that. Looks like there's going to be some passive resource or passive stats as well that goes into that. But that's guilds. More to come on that a little bit later. But I do like the presentation. I actually kind of see your guild members in their little guild camp. I like it. Very, very nice. So let's jump over here to the characters real quick before it crashes. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about upgrading your characters in this game. So first things first, you can upgrade your character level by using EXP Elixir. That's very straightforward. There's a daily resource grind specially designed for that, so no surprises there. You can also ascend your character, which allows you to boost up their max level. Once again, this is going to use in-game resources. You can also increase each of your individual character skills. So as you guys can see here, I have 2 skills that I can use tomes to increase the skill levels of those. And then you have Awakening, and this is where your duplicates come in handy here. So basically, as you guys can see, I can basically awaken her 5 times by using duplicates. And just for the sake, I might still play the game. All right, so you basically use those duplicate Memorias to awaken your character. And like I said, you can awaken the character 5 times, which basically increases their power as well as their ultimate. So as far as the drop rate of SSRs, for example, this game has, and I'll just kind of go over to the summon really quick. This game has rates of 5% for an SSR. So when you're trying to get your character fully maxed out, you have a 5% chance to pull an SSR, and then of course a 0.333% chance of getting the SSR that you actually want. So that's how the game works. I know some people don't really like games that use duplicates in order to kind of limit break their characters and things of that nature. It just really depends. It really depends on the economy. It really depends on the side story or rewards and stuff like that. And what I mean by that is, like, they've already started giving out SR Memoria dupes. I don't think it's far-fetched to think that maybe as this game kind of hits global launch and starts to get out there, they start doing like login rewards that are going to reward a universal SSR crystal, or maybe giving out SSR crystals as rewards for side stories or raids and things of that nature. So I'm not ready to judge the game on it just yet. Like I said, I know a lot of people, as soon as they see that you have to use duplicates to really get the maxed out power of your character, I know that turns off a lot of people. It just really depends. It really depends. How free is the currency that we're going to be having? How often are we going to get summoning tickets? How needed is that power in the first place? Like, is there actually going to be content in the game that requires you to have a maxed out, fully awakened character? All of those things matter. Now, obviously, when it comes to PvP, all of that gets thrown out the window. But for normal content, normal PvP content, or normal PvE content, I have a hard time to believe that you're going to have a full team of fully awakened characters in order to do well. I assume. We're going to see when the game comes out. But I'm pretty optimistic about it. So we just pulled an SSR there. That is Leon. Just kind of giving you guys an idea of what the summonings look like. Now, 2 final things before we end the video off. Let's go over here to a party lineup. Now, earlier in the video, I alluded that there was a little bit more to Memorias. Now, I'm still optimistic about the overall system itself, but you saw that I was very reluctant to use one of my Memorias to ascend my character. Now, you might be wondering, why wouldn't you use your Memoria dupe to ascend your character, FG? You just literally said that's what it's there for. I mean, it is, but it's also for something else. All right, so let me kind of show you here. So here's my lineup of characters that I bring into combat, and here are all the Memorias that each individual character has equipped to them. So if we click on this one really quick, we go in here, and as you guys can see, we talked about this a little bit earlier. There's a daily resource grind, which allows you to get materials for your Memorias to grind up their levels. So very straightforward there. You can use that to increase your levels. However, you can also ascend your Memorias. All right, you can ascend your Memorias. So you can awaken your character with duplicate Memorias, and you can also ascend your Memorias with duplicate Memorias. So I'm still optimistic, but there is going to be more use for your Memoria. So once you've done all that, right? Once you've drived 5 Memoria dupes into your individual character to fully awaken them, and then you've driven, you've driven 5 duplicate Memoria dupes inside the actual dupe itself, then you're done. That's like a fully maxed out character. And like I said, are we gonna need that much power? I don't know. I don't know. How free to play and how given are these things going to be? I also have no idea, but I wanna make that known. So you're gonna have 5 dupes to fully awaken your character, and then an additional 5 dupes to ascend your Memoria dupes. There you go. In addition to that, you also bring substones as well, and there is a lot of substones here, as you guys can see. And all these substones, once again, provide passive stats. So let's go ahead and click on one. They're going to provide passive stats, HP, defense, and attack, and they're also going to have additional skills as well. To kind of give you a better example that's a little bit more straightforward, let's take a look at this one. So I have this equipped. Every single character that I bring to combat is going to get additional HP, attack, and defense, and they're going to get HP recovery as well. So this is what you're bringing to combat with you. You're bringing 4 characters, 2 sub-characters, a bunch of individual Memorias, and then you're bringing team-wide Memorias as well. So individual ones and team-wide ones that apply to everyone. So that's going to be the name of the game. There's going to be a lot of Memorias being powered up, a lot of Memorias being duped. I guess that takes the place of an equipment and a gear system. So that's why I'm kind of reluctant to kind of be upset about the system at the moment, because it does kind of replace an equipment and gear system. They're gonna get you some way. So we'll have to see. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rewards look like, what the login rewards look like, what the general economy looks like. Maybe their PvP rewards, maybe the raids. Like I said, there's a lot of questions still out there that I can't answer in an open beta first impressions video, ladies and gentlemen, but I will later. Once again, my name is FG3000. Love to see some dialogue about this game down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later. Guess what? I'm still not done. I thought the video was over. I forgot to tell you about outfits. So there are different outfits, which I'm going to assume, without seeing any of the outfits, I'm going to assume that the outfits are more going to be like different types of skins for your character that kind of fits the actual character themselves, like an alternate skin and an alternate universe version of that character. I hope. Because as much as I like attachments, they are a bit goofy. So party hat, sunglasses, a little pipe and a cigar and a weird lizard tail. I mean, there's a lot of different places that you can put these little attachments on, which I don't have a problem with. Sometimes you want to put like a bunny on your head or something like that. I get it. I want to put bunnies on my head too, but I also would like to have like a more serious collection of costumes as well. So hopefully that's what outfits are. I hope these are going to be like the more serious skins that you can actually see that character use thematically, maybe. And then if you want to be goofy, you can throw a bunch of attachments on your character. So there you go. Now I'm actually done. I'm out. See you guys next video. Later.